sweltering heat here in Omaha, Nebraska, but we've got some heat on the field as well today as we bring you the Corn Belt League quarterfinals, the second day of two. The number 4 seed Filthballers and the number 5 seed Rail Riders today. As we welcome you into the booth, I'm Arnav, Pokhrel, joined by the one and only Thomas Roth. We're running it back from our Miller North days here in the Corn Belt League. And Thomas, it was a hot day yesterday. It's even worse today. This weather is crazy.
Yeah, it's sweltering just driving in. You could just feel the heat. I don't know how the players are going to manage out there in the sun. Going to want to watch for the outfielders looking into the sun for all fly balls today, especially it gets later into the evening. It'll be a tough one, but hopefully we see a good matchup.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a great matchup, and it's a 4 seed versus the 5 seed. We'll take a look at the home side star player, Matthew Rivers, a guy from DMAC, batting average .328, second on the team. The OBP and the slugging percentage, though, getting it done. .494 on base percentage, .534 slugging percentage, 9 RBIs on the season. Matthew Rivers is one of those guys, when he steps in the box, he's looking to go long.
Heck yeah, he's one of the leaders on this team. First baseman, like you said, .309 average. Second on his team, but everything else he almost leads. So if the Filthballers want to get going today, Matthew Rivers is going to be a big part of that, and they got to rally behind him.
And you'll know when Matthew Rivers steps into the box. He's got this deep stance. He widens his legs, gets low, and just makes really good contact with the ball. On the other side, for the Rail Riders, it hasn't been one single player that's really stood out, but it's the entirety of their offense. Yesterday, we saw the Omaha Black Sox put up a good fight in the nightcap because of their offensive prowess, and the Rail Riders are right up there as well. Second in the Corn Belt League in total batting average, first in the next 3 categories, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, and total RBIs. Kind of the same thing we talked about with Matthew Rivers leading his team. The Rail Riders are just leading the whole entire league.
Yeah, you know what they say, if you want to win games, you got to score points. You got to score, you got to put the ball in play, and the Rail Riders do a really good job of that. So I think for the Filthballers, the key today is going to be getting through innings fast and not letting that efficient offense that the Rail Riders have kind of take charge of the game.
And we're going to see that Rail Riders offense out here first today. Matchin's going to lead off for the Rail Riders in the maroon, as the Filthballers in the green have Burnett out there pitching, one of their more consistent pitchers throughout the season. As we take a look at the season here for Carson Burnett, 28 innings thrown, and we'll get the 29th when we return here. We're going to take a quick break on the Corn Belt League Network. Once again, Arnav, Pokhrel, Thomas Roth. We'll have the rest of action in the first pitch when we return. this wasn't premeditated before the season started, but those signs have been hanging up in the outfield wall since the beginning of the 2023 Corn Belt League season, and it might have just given us a preview of this quarterfinal matchup, the Filthballers and the Rail Riders. Like we mentioned in the pregame, it's hot today in Omaha. 99 degrees on the temperature, but what it feels like, 109. Thomas, I know you and I have been outside in these hot situations before, playing sports or just kind of being outside. It drains you.
It's terrible. Can't imagine what those outfielders are feeling like. You got to make sure you're getting through innings quick, because if you're standing out there in the sun for 15, 20 minutes for half an inning, you're going to get drained. You're not going to be as quick off the ball, ready to react. So these pitchers are going to have to make sure even more today that they're getting through the innings, 1, 2, 3, batters up, batters down, and keeping the play moving.
Yeah, the big thing today, stay active. Don't let the heat get to you, and try and get through innings quickly, like you said, Thomas. What are you expecting to see between these two sides? You're battling a lot of things. You're battling on a heat. You're battling two pitchers that are the aces of their squads, really. How do you expect both of these teams to attack?
Yeah, both teams are rolling out their best pitchers because, lose one game and you're gone. So there's no need to hold them back for anything. So both these teams, there's a lot of parity in this league. Both teams come into the game 11-13-1, so it's going to be a good game. I'm anticipating a pitcher's duel. It's so hot. There's not going to be a lot of activity, maybe not a lot of hits right off the bat. Batters kind of feeling out the pitcher, especially early on in the game. So as we get into the later innings, maybe some more big-time hits, bigger innings, but I'm anticipating a pitcher's duel. I want to see the starters shine.
You're not wrong. If there's a pitcher's duel, the game will move a lot quicker for us up here in the booth as well. Up first for the Rail Riders, Steven Atchin wearing number 2 and playing second base. And once again, he'll be facing off against Carson Burnett. He'll take the first pitch low and away for ball 1. As we take a look at Burnett this season, a very, very good pitcher. 28 innings pitched, 5.14 ERA, so a little bit on the higher side for him. 1.96 whip, but still a very, very efficient season. And the reason why they're playing him today, although he does have that high ERA, he can get you the distance. He's a pitcher that can go the innings, has the arm stamina to get you there, and he'll be looking to go at least 3.5, if not 4 innings today, minimum, to try and help his squad reach a victory.
Yeah, that's key, especially if the Filthballers want to go far in this tournament. They got to preserve their arms, preserve their pitchers. You want your best at their best. So if he can get through 3 or 4, maybe even 5, complete game, hopefully, that gives the Filthballers a great chance to go far.
An interesting thing with Burnett as Machin flies out for the first out of the inning is Burnett is not just only a pitcher, he can also hit. So he's listed as the designated hitter, but he'll hit while he's pitching, and then once he gets relieved, he will continue on hitting as the designated hitter for the relief pitcher in question.
Yeah, he's a great player for the Filthballers. Very Shohei Ohtani-like, pitching and hitting in the same game. Hopefully he'll have the same success.
You can only hope, as it'll bring up Jack Schaefer, the righty playing center field today. As he'll make contact with the first pitch into shallow left center. It's going to drop for a single. So the first hit of the game belongs to Jack Schaefer.
That was a perfectly placed ball. It dropped right in between that gap between the outfielders and the infield. Both the shortstop and center field were running for it, but ball dropped right in the gap, and a good first hit single.
Just the 6th single of the year for Schaefer. He's struggling with the ERA, sitting at 240 coming into today. Not terrible, but not where you want to be as a number 2 hitter, but he makes contact and gets on base.
Yeah, and that's why he's hitting number 2.
Maximiliano Torres up next on the season. He's hitting .313, so another very efficient hitter on this Rail Riders side that, like we mentioned earlier, leads the league, is second in the league in batting average as the runner goes. Throw down to second is in time, but it's off the line, and Schaefer will be safe at second. You got to think with this heat, Thomas, the catchers maybe have a little bit of a delayed reaction when they see those runners go. Getting up is going to be a little bit harder just because maybe you're getting weighed down by all the sweat that you're releasing or things like that. The weather just playing a factor again and again and again, even in ways that you don't think of, really.
Yeah, we saw a lot of steals in our 2 games yesterday, and those catchers, they just weren't popping up as quickly as you might expect early in the season. So free bases are big, and that puts a runner in scoring position. Right now, anything in the outfield could score your runner on second, so that steal, really valuable.
Torres on the year leads the team in RBIs with 12, so if there's a guy to get it done with runners in scoring position, it's Torres. playing left field today. As he gets retired, it'll bring up Chris Bollifer, the catcher for the Rail Riders.
Bollifer, hailing out of the University of Minnesota Crookston, has a 4.05 average on the season with 9 RBIs. So he's a big hitter here at the cleanup position.
Nobody else you'd rather have in the cleanup than Bollifer. 4.05 on the season, like you mentioned, Thomas, just numbers that you don't really see of when you're thinking college summer baseball, but Bollifer's got it done. Here's a 1-0 from Burnett. Big hanging curveball, but it misses just wide for 2-0.
Bollifer loves this position he's in now. Runner on second, and he has a 2-0 count, so he's ahead. He's making the pitcher pitch to him. He's not swinging at anything outside the zone, waiting for his pitch. He wants something big to the outfield.
Here's a 2-0. Missing again. 3-0 now for Bollifer. You got to think red light here. They're not going to swing. You don't want to swing on a 3-0 count.
Yeah, just let it go. The pitcher has to put something in the strike zone, but if he misses on that edge, you'd rather take a walk than swing on something.
Just as predicted, the 3-0 count turns to a 3-1.
Bollifer with a wide stance. He's owning that batter's box. He's telling the pitcher this is his at-bat. As that ball goes wide, and Bollifer will take his base.
So the 3-0 count turns to 3-1, and then it turns to a free bag for Bollifer, as he'll head to first and then get courtesy run for it's number 13, Nolan Chandler, an infielder from Anoka Ramsey Community College, who will step in for him on the bases. And that's been a change that they've been making consistently throughout this season, so it's nothing new there from the Rail Riders. They've got 2 on with 2 out. First one hit to the second baseman, Garner. Garner over to first, and the throw is in time, so runners do get on. 1 hit for the Rail Riders, but nothing to show for it. They blank in the top of the first. We'll head to the bottom, and the Filthballers will have top of the lineup when we return here on the Corn Belt League Network. here for the bottom of the first inning between the Filthballers and the Rail Riders. The Rail Riders put 5 up to the plate, but no runs to show for it. It'll bring up Harris, Larson, and Burnett here in the bottom of the first inning. As we get set here for action, and the Filthballers leadoff man, Brandon Harris, has been pretty effective throughout this entire season. Excuse me, Brendan Hillis. Batting .227, but his on-base percentage is .333, so he gets on 1 every 3 chances, and they're hoping that one of these chances is the start of the game.
And when he gets on, he tends to steal. He has 4 stolen bases on the regular season, so he's not afraid to go. He's got wheels on the base. First one will be high for the first ball.
Pitching for the Rail Riders, Nick Mercek, 42 innings thrown, by far the highest amount of innings thrown on the team, as a 2.98 ERA, 1.35 on the whip, and has 41 strikeouts, excuse me, to only 15 walks, an incredible strikeout to walk ratio.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Very, very effective with where he controls his pitches and where he wants to throw. Once again, he's their ace, he's their go-to guy, and you expect a great showing from him if the Rail Riders are to win this one. Falls behind early in the count. 2-1 to Hillis. Hillis looks at a pitch that just clips the outside zone for 2-2. Hillis makes contact, but it's softly to the second baseman, and throw is over to first in time, so that's 1 away for the Filthballers. Easy play for the Rail Riders leadoff man, Matchan, just right into his glove. He didn't even have to shuffle his feet too much before making an easy throw over to first.
Those are the type of plays you want as infielders. Just easy things, stuff that keeps your mind active, keeps you in the game. Easy throw over to first for a first out.
It'll bring up Peyton Larson, the center fielder. Takes the first pitch up and away for ball 1.
Larson has a .277 average with 18 hits on the season. He hails out of Concordia University. That's where he plays his collegiate ball.
A couple of Concordia University players for this Filthballer side, and you got to think it's always good when you leave your college and go to play in a summer league, when you're able to bring some of your teammates with you and keep a little bit of that chemistry going throughout the summer as well.
Yeah, it creates a lot of camaraderie. You're winning games in the regular season and you're playing all summer together. You go back to your collegiate team ready to go.
2-0 count here for Larson. Looks at strike 1, so it's 2-1. High pop fly into foul territory, closing in on it. 2 Rail Riders and no communication, so it'll fall foul harmlessly.
Yeah, both the third baseman and the catcher were both running for that one, and they both kind of backed off right at the wrong time, and the ball fell harmlessly in between them. So what could have been an out results in only a foul ball, and it's a 2-2 count.
Yeah, one of the 2 players have to make that call there, but instead, Larson gets away with what should have been an out, and now has a 2-2 count, so he's still 1 strike away, but a second chance here for Larson. Contact through the gap, and it's going to get into right field. So heading over to first is Peyton Larson, a second chance opportunity. He took advantage of that one.
Yeah, great hit right in between that first and second baseline. Put it right towards the right fielder. He gets on base for a good single. And now up is the pitcher, Carson Burnett. We saw him just have that great inning pitching at the top of the first, and now he's hitting at the bottom of the first. He hails out of Olone College from Fremont, California, with a .361 average, 22 hits on the season, so one of the better hitters on this Filthballer squad, as he'll look to advance a runner here.
Yeah, you mentioned a .333 average, 22 hits, a really consistent single hitter. He's 22 hits, and 19 of them have been singles, so while he doesn't hit for power, he does get the ball in play, which is exactly what the Filthballers need right now. Pitcher versus pitcher. First pitch is just on the outside, missing for ball 1.
Hey, singles matter too. You know what they say, if the ball's in the air, the chance is there. So just get it in play and let the fielders make the mistakes.
Low and away for ball 2. And Larson at first, not the first guy you think of when it comes to speed and this Filthballer side, but definitely not the slowest guy out there. So definitely able to either steal a base here, or if the ball isn't playing in the outfield, you think he's going to at least make it to third base. Has good contact here from Burnett. Into deep left, but running over and tracking it and making the catch is the left fielder.
It's left fielder Max Torres out of California Miramar. A lot of California players we're seeing today. Corn Belt League does a great job of providing host families and other opportunities for these out-of-state players, helping them play summer ball in a welcoming environment here in Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah, you have to think it's a very enticing place to play as well. Minimal travel. You're playing at either here at J.J. Eisen Field, or you're playing at a great facility up in Iowa Western Community College, a facility that just got renovated a few years ago and is a really good turf field. Or you're playing here on the dirt here at J.J. Isaacson. A lot of good draws here to this Corn Belt League. That's not like the other travel leagues during the summer where you're traveling just about every day. It also makes our job a little bit easier, Thomas. We got to keep everything here at J.J. Isaacson as the cleanup man, Matthew Rivers, is up, and we highlighted him pregame, leads the team in almost every single hitting category you could lead a team in, except for batting average. The man from DMAC will step back in with a 1-1 count.
You mentioned that stance when he's batting. He's really taken up the entire batter's box. He wants to own the plate and show the pitcher, hey, this is my time, okay? You're throwing to me.
That's the mentality that's got him really talked about this Corn Belt League season. One of the standout performers on this Filthballer side as he launches one into the sky, but it's going to stay in the infield. And it's going to fall to the second baseman for the Rail Riders. But Steven Matcha, his second defensive assist, defensive put out of the inning, and it'll be the end of the first inning, and it'll remain scoreless between the two sides, 0-0. We'll head to the top of the second, and the Rail Riders will be back up to plate when we return here on the CBLN. Here getting set for the second inning of action between the Rail Riders and the Filthballers. Just one hit for both sides as we get set for the top of the second inning. For the Rail Riders, it's going to be Lucas Slagle up to bat.
That first pitch went low, almost hit Slager in the foot, but he steps out of it.
Slager, the first baseman for this Rail Riders side, and taking a look at his batting throughout this season for Slager as he puts this one into play. It's going to fall in center field, and he'll head to first. Slager gets his 11th single of the season, batting .283. That'll go up a little bit after this game.
Yeah, great leadoff hitter there to start the top of the second. Gets on base on just the second pitch. And now it'll bring up number 32, TJ Swaney, the third baseman. A 1.82 average with 4 hits and a double on the season.
Yeah, Swaney, a very effective hitter from the 7 hole for the Rail Riders. As he pops this one into right field, it's lost in the sun, and it's gonna fall. So Swaney will head to second. It's a standing double for Swaney as the ball gets lost in the sun. And Thomas, you mentioned it before the game, the sun playing a factor.
That's right.
And it does there again.
That's what we were talking about. Outfielders looking up into the air, looking right into the sun, and it just drops right over his left shoulder. He has no clue, and that's an easy double for TJ Swaney. Great start to this inning for the Rail Riders as they'll try to capitalize.
It's going to bring up Troy Flowers, the extra hitter. Slager's on third. Swaney's on second after the mistake in right field by the Filthballers.
No outs, a man on second and third, so there's no force out for them. So any ground ball hit over the shortstop area, they don't necessarily have to take off. They can kind of wait it out and see where the ball plays.
This one's popped up, but it's going to fall off foul and then into the glove of the third baseman, Anthony Nino. So it's one away here for the Filthballers in the top of the second inning.
That'll bring up Carson Chipres. He's the bottom of the order out of Southeastern Community College. He'll try to drive in some runs with only one out here.
A couple interesting thing to note there, that play in right field. The right fielder there, Dane Garner. Usually an infielder. He usually plays second base for this Filthballer side, but when you're trying to put all your best hitters out there, sometimes you got to move those positions around. And maybe that played a factor there to that mistake in the outfield.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate error. Dane Gardner, also a fellow Millard North grad. 2022 graduate.
This one's lifted into right field again by Chipres. Garner, this time under it. He'll make the throw. Looking to go all the way home. It's well wide of the catcher. And one run scores for the Rail Riders on the sacrifice fly. It's Slager making it home after reaching third on that double by Swaney. Swaney moves over to third. He's a lone base runner for the Rail Riders, who now hold a 1-0 lead. Thanks to the sacrifice fly by Chipres. Pitch in for a strike. It's Jake Murakami. 29 at-bats this season, 9 hits, all of them singles, as he yet to record an extra 8 hit this year, as he looks at a pitch well high and inside for a 1-1 count. Here's the 1-1 from Burnett. Another one of those big curveballs that Burnett likes to throw, and it's in there for a strike. Gets a really good vertical movement on that one, as now the count sits 1-2 with 2 away. Another curveball offering from Burnett, but this one's looked at by Murakami.
Murakami's waiting for something special here. 1-2, man on third. He wants to put this ball in play, and it needs to be big.
Fastball, Murakami lifts it into left field. It's going to stay fair. No, it is not. Just runs foul for Murakami, but he got good contact on that pitch to send it to left field.
Yeah, that would have been the perfect hit. The left fielder was running to it, but it would have dropped just perfectly on that foul line, but unfortunately goes a little left, so it won't count, but that's the type of pitch he was looking for.
Right on cue for Murakami, but now white paint just a few inches too far to the right as he pulls it foul. He'll do it again here with the 2-2. Swung on, he saws that one off, back into the chain link fence, so he'll do it again for the third time. Third time's the charm here between Burnett and Murakami.
This is truly a battle between this pitcher and hitter.
Swung on, blooped over into center field, charging on it, it's gonna fall. RBI single for Murakami, who retreats back to first, It's a 2-0 lead for the Rail Riders.
They're doing damage here early in this game. We predicted that it would be a pitcher's duel, and that's not really what it's turning out to be. So great work by the Rail Riders, striking early.
Yeah, Peyton Larson closing in on that one. Tried to slide towards it, but looks like he actually overran that one. That one kind of dropped towards his upper chest area. So unable to get there in time was Larson. Murakami heads to first, scores a run, and it's a 2-0 lead for the Rail Riders.
Now up to bat is the second baseman, Steven Machin, out of Calamar. We talked about him earlier.
Top of the order again for the Rail Riders, and they've got through 10 at-bats in just the first inning and 2/3. Pitch missing outside for 1-1. Runner on first is Murakami with the RBI single. First run scored on a sacrifice fly. That's the difference in this one, 2-0. Machin looks at a few more pitches. It's 2-1 now the count. Once again, with 2 away, you've got to force out at second or first. And for Burnett, the mantra here is just get out, no more damage.
Yeah, that's right. Hasn't been a bad inning, and he goes right to it. Hit right to the pitcher. He walks it over to first base for the third out. So the Filthballers will get out of the inning only down 2-0, and we'll see if they can do some damage when we come back here on the Corn Belt League Network.
Anthony Nino heads to the batter's box. The catcher slash third baseman slash he really does play anywhere from Allen County Community College. Is the leadoff man for the Filthballers in the bottom of the second inning. Swing at the first pitch and foul it, 4-0-1. Playing third base today is Nino as he shuffles his feet back, avoids a pitch for 1-1.
Rail Riders scored 2 at the top of the second, and it's like the Filthballers need to respond. They don't want to give up momentum early in the game and have to come from behind for the rest of it. Nino takes that one outside.
Yeah, thought about swinging there, but held his swing back. And kind of like you mentioned, it's a long game of baseball, Thomas. You've got 7 whole innings to make something happen, but momentum's a huge thing. And if you give 2 runs here to the Rail Riders and you don't earn them back quick enough, could prove fatal in the end, as it's another pitch that's going to find its way to the backstop. And Nino will be ahead 3-1 in the count. As he steps back into the box. This one hit over to shortstop. It's a long throw to be made, and the pick is in time.
Safe.
No, just kidding. The umpire changed the call.
Wow. That was a great throw by the shortstop and a great stretch by the first baseman, but just took about half a second too long, and he gets there for a single to start the inning.
Yeah, I thought Slager got it cleanly, and the umpire thought so as well. He made the first call as an out, and then he readjusted. I think maybe he saw a bobble in Slager's glove, maybe something along those lines. But either way, Nino's going to head over to first, and it looks like he did drop the ball, in fact. So Slager almost with an incredible stretch pick play from the long throw from the shortstop, Blinn. Instead, it's Nino on first. Bring up Cooper McCoy.
And he'll be hit by the first pitch. Nicholas Merchek just threw kind of a soft one in there, and it just hit him in the back shoulder. So Cooper McCoy will take his base. And now with no outs, the Filthballers will have a man on first and second.
So 2 runners on here for the Filthballers and no outs.
Your attention, please. Courtesy runner at first base from Southeast Community College, number 4, Cody Bruce.
And even as McCoy got hit and made it to first base, it's going to be a courtesy runner here for the Filthballers. Cody Bruce, the pitcher from Southeast Community College, has contact on the pitch and a chance to turn 2 for the Rail Riders. They get one at second. The throw to first, not in time. Slager had to jump off the bag just to corral that ball in. The runner advances to third. So runners on the corners here for the Filthballers as it brings up.
That was a great opportunity for the Rail Riders defense to turn 2 and kind of get the momentum back in this inning and regain control, but they don't get it. So runners on the corners now, and the Filthballers with the lefty Tristan Brandt up to bat.
You're glad you got the guy at second. It keeps the double play here alive if you're the Rail Riders. Cy Patterson there, the second baseman, is over on first base, and Tristan Brandt is the extra hitter at the plate now. Big cut there from Brandt, and he'll fall behind 0-2 in the count.
Brandt's got a fantastic head of hair flowing out of his batting helmet. Just looks amazing. Might be one of the best in the Corn Belt League if I were to say so myself.
Great head of hair, but is it a little too hot as he makes contact? You got to think with the heat and that back of the neck has got to be cooking right now if you're Tristan Brandt.
Sweat's just beating up and rolling down his back.
As we go again on the 0-2 after he fouls one back. That one well outside for 1-2.
0-2 is a tough position for Brandt to have been in, and now 1-2 isn't much better. The pitcher totally controls it. He can play with that outside zone and make you swing at it.
Here's the 1-2. Runner goes. Throw to second is in time. And the runner goes home.
That was an odd decision to throw on the steal at second. It was a good throw in time, and if they'd got the out, it would have paid off, but that just gave up an easy score.
Yeah, so
the Filthballers.
The Filthballers get on board, and I'm right there with you. Bolifer has got to be a little bit smarter there. Although you think you have the runner, you just can't risk giving up that run from third to home. And then to add insult to injury, the runner's safe.
Yeah, and you lost the opportunity to double play now. There's no longer a man on first, so it's going to be a little harder to get out of the inning. I wonder if it was just kind of force of habit. He saw a runner going, he just said, oh, I'm going to second. Didn't think about that runner on third base.
Yeah, Cy Patterson, who reached on that fielder's choice, almost a part of a double play himself, is now in scoring position for Brent.
Anything to the outfield you would think scores at second base here.
Big swing and a miss for Brent, and it'll be the second out of the inning for the Filthballers and bring up Dane Garner, Concordia University product, who just finished his first season.
The right fielder, Concordia University.
Gardner, the right fielder who missed the ball in the sun earlier in that second inning.
You want to talk about a chance to really make up your mistake. This is where you do it here if you're Dane Gardner. You got a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Just put the ball in play, and I think Cy Patterson brings it home.
Yeah, that's right. Show your team, hey, my bad. I'll make it up right here by scoring another run.
Big cut from Gardner for strike 1.
Second one goes in low for a ball. So it'll be 1-1 for Gardner.
Yeah, Gardner has seen some of the best here in the state during his high school days at Millard North. He faced off against Millard South and Millard West a multitude of times throughout his high school career. Both those teams perennial state championship contenders. A lot of guys who on those two teams of Millard South and Millard West who have gone on to play Division I, high Division II level ball. So Gardner has been there with some of the elite in the state during his high school days. As the count sits 2-1.
Yeah, nobody can forget that electric baseball state championship 2 years ago between Millard West and Millard South. Came all the way down to the wire and just a great game. And of course this year we saw Lincoln East top it. First Lincoln school to win in a long time. Nobody in this booth happy to hear that. But alas, Gardner will rip one into right field. And it'll be corralled, but bobble out of the glove of right fielder. That was number 17, Peyton Larson. So a runner will score, and Gardner gets a double to make up for his earlier mistake.
And we literally had just talked about it before the at-bat. There's any chance for Gardner to make up for that mistake he made earlier in the inning, it was to get a play in the outfield. And the right fielder there for the Rail Riders making the mistake there. It's
Number 17, Carson Chiprez.
Chiprez, who bobbled it. The ball landed in foul territory, but the play was being made in fair territory. So Chiprez is charged with an error the first of the game, and it's all tied up 2-2.
Great way to respond by the Filthballers. They gave up 2 in the top of the second, and they score 2 in the bottom. Show the Rail Riders, hey, we're not going away without a fight. This is our game as much as it's yours. And now with 2 outs, they'll look to tack some more on.
They'll bring up the left fielder, Lyndon Brugman. Lyndon Brugman with an early 2-0 lead. He's got the batter's count for him with a runner in scoring position in Garner. And Garner's got some speed there at second. Brugman makes good contact, but it's well fouled and over behind the bleachers. And we'll go again here with a 2-1 count. 2 outs and a runner on second base in Garner. As the Rail Riders ace loads and fires one. It's a big swing from Brugman.
This has been a long inning for pitcher Nicholas Merchek. He wants to get out of it.
Yeah, Mercek not used to these long innings. He's one of those. He's been throwing strikes, but the Filthballers have just been making good contact. Another good contact shot there, but it's ripped just foul on the right side of that first base line. Mercek's throwing strikes, and the Filthballers are making really good contact with some of them.
Yeah, that's right. That's one thing you got to worry about. If you're a pitcher throwing strikes, you got the chance to strike guys out, but if your hitters are hot, they're also going to take them on you.
So the count sits 2-2. Pitch well outside, full count here. Payoff pitch upcoming for Mercek as he works against Brugman. Payoff. Lifted into right field. Tracking back is Shiprez to the warning track. A leaping catch, and he makes it to end the inning. But the Filthballers get 2 back. It's 2-2 as we head to the third. See if the Rail Riders can regain that advantage they had before when we return here on the CBLN. for the top of the third inning between the Rail Riders and the Filthballers. Schaefer, Torres, Bollifer due up for the Rail Riders as they did their work in the top of the second, getting a 2-0 lead, but then the Filthballers clawed back in the bottom of the second. As it now sits 2-2. First pitch is ripped right back up the gap, and it'll head into center field.
Great way to start the inning by Jack Schaefer. That ball went right back to where it came from. Ripped it right over the pitcher's head into center field for a good single.
Yeah, just took the first pitch he saw and turned on it right back at the pitcher. Burnett's lucky he was able to either duck out of the way of that one and didn't get hurt on the play there as Schaefer heads to first. Here's Torres.
Widen and get the pitcher first baseman and runner.
Another hanging curveball there from Burnett, and Torres watches it inside for ball one.
Dude, I go to a Catholic school. Stop it. Big whoop.
Contact, and it's going to fall into right center field. Turning three here is Schaefer. He's going home. A chance for an RBI double for Torres, and it will be as Schaefer turns on the Jets, gets from first all the way home, and Torres at the stand-up double to regain this Rail Riders lead.
Rail Riders came out blazing at the top of this third inning. 2 hits in a row. Runner on second, and they scored one. Can't help but to think, but Carson Burnett's feeling a little bit shaky up on the pitcher's mound now. Nobody up in the bullpen, so it's his game for now, but we'll see how long it remains that way.
It might be just a little too early. If Burnett turns and he sees someone warming up in the bullpen, you got to think his confidence will be shot. So he'll remain here in on the mound for the Filthballers. And he has a 0-1 lead here on Bollifer. Bollifer, good contact with this one, but it's high into center field. And making the catch is the center fielder Larson. And he'll hold Torres at second. So the first out is Bollifer flying out to the center fielder Larson.
That was a smart hold by Torres there on second base. The center fielder caught it just kind of right behind his back, and it would have been a quick gun down to third base. So smart of him to hold, not try to force an advance. It'll bring up Peyton Blinn, the shortstop, hitting now.
Peyton Blinn is the shortstop, wears the number 1, was part of a team last year that traveled down to Wichita. Will not be going this year, unfortunately, for Blinn, but had a really, really productive year for the Rail Riders. Trying to check his swing, but it hits off the inside of the bat for 1-1.
Yeah, that ball was high. Blinn did not want to swing at it, but he gets a little poke, and it'll be a foul ball.
1-1 count with 1 out. Missing for 2-1.
You and Colton are just going to switch off now. Probably like every inning-ish. Just because if it's not going to pair 2 feet.
Pitch misses just outside. It's another one of those curveballs from Burnett. And now he's behind in the count 3-1. Here's a 3-1 from Burnett. Blinn watches it. It's in there for strike 2, so it's a full count upcoming between Burnett and Blinn.
Everybody loves a full count. It's a 1 pitch. See what happens. Who wants it more between the batter and pitcher? Really the pinnacle of excitement. As it'll be right down the middle for a looking strikeout by Peyton Blinn for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, Burnett just says, I'm tired of throwing the curveballs. Absolutely rockets one down the middle that catches the right half of the plate on Burnett's side and gets Blinn looking. It'll bring up Slager, Lucas Slager. We saw the Saw his name, said his name a couple of times there in the bottom of the second, involved in a couple of plays as the runner goes and just kind of jogs over to third. Torres got a really early jump on Burnett, and Burnett just didn't even notice, didn't even turn around and try and pick him off.
Yeah, stealing thirds are a pretty risky endeavor, but they make it work this time. So now the Filthballers have a runner in scoring position.
That's a great shot.
Just 90 feet away, another curveball from Burnett. 1-1 count.
Taylor's up there. Colton's up there too.
Pitch well inside for 2-1.
Almost looked like it was going to catch Slager's knee, but went by.
Yeah, the last time Slager was up, he hit that single into left center. Reached third then on the double by Swaney, and then ended up scoring the first run of the game. Big cut there from Slager. It's high in the outfield, and getting there is the center fielder Larson. So that'll be it for the top of the third inning. No one run scored by the Rail Riders. They regain their lead. It's 3-2 as we head towards the bottom of the third on the CBL end. Well, Thomas, we talked about the heat before the game, and taking a look at Jackson Ingleside, one of our trusty cameramen, he's brought out the umbrella and trying to shade himself from the sun. Says hi to the Cornbelt League Network out there on the third base sideline. Can't thank him enough for the work he's doing. He's sweltering right now out there.
These cameramen, they put in the work to get some great shots for us, so hats off to them.
We're very lucky to be here in the press box. We're in air conditioning. They're out there. They're doing the hard work. They're the backbone of this Cornbelt League Network. And it's the Filthballers who are due up in the bottom of the third. We're going to see, I believe it's top of the order coming up in Hillis, Larson, and Burnett.
Filthballers want to carry on the momentum they had last inning. They scored 2 to pull even, but now the Filthballers are kind of scored again, pulling away a little bit. So Filthballers want to get back into the action.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Garner had the mistake that scored a run for the Rail Riders, came back in the bottom of the second, helped score a run, hit an RBI of the Filthballers' own to bring this lead back tied, and then in the top of the third, the Rail Riders add one back to make it 3-2. Not quite the pitcher's duel we were envisioning in this heat, Thomas, but it's Hillis on Mercek to try and get things started again for the Filthballers. 0-0 count in the bottom of the third as we get things started. First pitch inside for ball one. Hillis led off the game with a grounder to the second baseman, Matchin, who's also the leadoff man for the Rail Riders. Good slider there for Mercek for 1-1.
It'll be ripped high to right field. And
Got it
he'll
there.
lose it in the sun again.
Happened on both sides. Chiprez loses the ball in the sun just like Garner did in the second. The sun is proving the most dangerous player here on the field today as it's a double for Hillis. He'll head to second, and it'll bring up
So we were 50-50 on our pregame predictions. We knew the sun was going to be a factor, but we kind of swung and missed on the pitcher's dual idea.
Yeah, I'll take 1 for 2. It's not a bad average as Peyton Larson heads to the plate.
3-on-3.
It's just something that we can never know from where we're at on the field. We don't know where the sun is. It's behind us somewhere. We don't see it as much as the players on the field do. It's a big cut from Larson for 0-1.
Yeah, Larson wanted that one. He was swinging hard, swinging flat, and he just kind of missed it, swung through.
Can that window be shut more or no?
No.
I can't. Okay.
Here's the
Hollywood.
0-1 in there for a strike, so it's 0-2.
If it needed to be
We've
open
got
that far.
receivers out there.
Okay.
0-2 count. This favors the pitcher tremendously. He's going to try to play with the strike zone. He does there. He throws something low, but it's a ball.
Yeah, just like you said, trying to go low and catch Larson, swinging for something he knows he can't hit. Instead, it's 1-2 between Mersick and Larson.
No hitter wants to go down looking, so in an 0-2, 1-2 position like this, pitchers are kind of playing that edge, playing with the pitcher's emotions, or the hitter's emotions.
There it is, strikeout looking for Mersick, and
Wow, that was a far outside strike.
Goofy.
Larson just kind of was looking at that one, thought it was far enough out, but it'll go for strike 3.
Larson left hanging. It'll bring up the pitcher on the other side, Burnett, who's started off the game well, gave up only 2 base runners in the first inning and no damage, but since then gave up 2 in the top of the second and 1 in the top of the third. Trying to get one back here for his Filthballer side that he's currently pitching for.
Your headset. Jackson's talking to you.
It's 0-1. Pitch up and away for 1-1.
Good way by catcher Cooper McCoy there, getting up and saving that ball. Excuse me.
This one lifted foul, so it's going to be a 1-2.
Every time Thomas messes up a name, he goes on mute. It goes over. He goes, "What the
Mersick still ahead in the count, 1-2. 1 away with the man on second.
Gonna be another outside strike.
That one just misses high
That was a good one.
for 2-2.
No.
Hillis is the man on second who reached after Chiprez just kind of lost the ball in the sun.
That's a great picture.
As it's 1 away in the bottom of the third. Contact with this one is blooped into shallow center. It's going to fall, but Hillis decides not to go and not take the risk on running to third, so it's going to be first and second.
Not sure why Jack Schaefer, the center fielder, didn't run under that ball. Maybe he lost it in the sun or something, but it kind of dropped just kind of right in front of him. No harm lost. Hillis just kind of stayed at second base, but an out they kind of wish you might have had.
It's not the worst thing in the world as well, as now you've got that force out at third base as well, so you can turn 2 in a couple of different ways here if you're the Rail Riders. So that runner advancing, not the worst thing, because you kept Hillis at second base. Going to bring up the designated hitter, though, Matthew Rivers, who we talked about pregame, just been absolutely cranking the ball this season. That's quite simply the only way to put it. He's been hitting the ball extremely well for this Filthballer side.
Yeah, Rivers a tank, a 309 average, 17 hits on the season, 8 RBIs, and he'll look to extend that here with a man on first and second. As he rips one to left field, Hillis will come around third, and he'll go home.
The throw home eaten by the pitcher, and now they've got a man in a pickle. Going to third. Is he in there in time? No, he's not. He thought he got under the tag there. That was Burnett, who was trying to get the extra base. Rivers will head to second. An RBI double for Rivers.
Not sure why they got in the pickle there. That was Burnett. He was trying to sneak an extra base, but it looked like he almost got under the tag at third, but got called out. So now with 2 outs, that'll bring up Nino.
I think Burnett kind of just automatically assumed that Mersick was going to make that throw home to the catcher Bolifer because there was a play to be made at the plate. Instead, Mersick ate the pitch and ate the throw and didn't throw it there to home. And then you're kind of caught no man's land if you're Burnett. You're in between second and third. Mersick does the right thing, eats the throw, and then throws it over to second. And then at that point, it's just a pickle situation.
I just know because our media.
Yeah, nobody likes a pickle. Favors the fielders all too well.
Sounds like there's a
Base
lot of
runners almost never win.
for prep to do it. So they sent him a thing about it.
Here's Nino up to bat. Runner on second is Rivers after the RBI. Check swing from Nino.
Nino's got some great style with those red, it looks like Louis Vuitton cleats. So he stands tall in the back of the box, and that one will be outside for ball 3.
Just a big personality guy. Anytime you're in that Filthballers dugout and you hear someone talking and cracking jokes, it's most definitely Nino's one of those guys involved, and just keeps the mood light in the dugout. You can't have too many of those guys in your team as he bloops this one into right field. Closing down on it is Shipres, and he'll make the catch. But the Filthballers tie it up once again. They went from 3-2 down to having it level at 3-3 at the end of the third. We'll head to the 4th inning. All tied up here at J.J. Isaacson Field. Don't go anywhere. We'll have the 4th inning when we return on the CBLN. Getting back into action here. The top of the 4th inning, the Rail Riders and Filthballers all tied up in the 4-5 matchup. Kind of what you're expecting between two teams that finished the season with exactly identical records. It's not a shock to see them with exact identical scores here in the top of the 4th inning, Thomas.
Yeah, there's a lot of parity between these two teams, and we knew coming in it was going to be a good game. Didn't know it would be this high scoring this early, but we're here for it.
I will definitely not complain as the first pitch is low and away for ball 1. Swaney's up to bat for the Rail Riders, and last time up, TJ Swaney had a hit, made it all the way to second base on the double, and then proceeded to score a run.
This high-scoring game is kind of indicative of what these teams have done all year. The Rail Riders, a 3.78 season ERA, 5th out of 8 in the Corn Belt League. The Filthballers, 4.13, which is the 2nd worst ERA in the Corn Belt League. So while they have good pitchers, they're more of the weaker pitching teams in the league, which leads to higher scoring games.
And you got to think that Rail Riders ERA definitely helped by the pitcher that we're seeing on the other side, Nick Mersick. He's from York University. He's been their ace all season. He's been doing it today as well. Obviously, 3 runs in 3 innings, not the stat you want to see when you're pitching for Mersick, but it's not the worst thing in the world when your offense is getting it done as well.
Yeah, your teammates are backing you up, so you're giving up a few, but they're getting them back.
Full count here for Swaney. Burnett settles in. Swing and a miss. They got him for strike 3, and Swaney's going to walk back to the dugout. First out here in the top of the 4th inning. As Burnett looks a little gassed there, but gets up and gets ready to go again.
Yeah, he's done a lot. This is his 4th inning pitching, and he's been hitting almost every single inning too, so he's being used pretty heavily.
Gonna bring up the extra hitter in Flowers. Troy Flowers, coming into today, had an average of 206, only an on-base percentage of 364, just in the regular season.
That'll be a slow ball to the outside.
As it counts, it's 1-1.
He got up, threw it over to first for the out, and then just fell down. Everyone in the dugout.
This one over to the shortstop. A play to be made at first. It's close. Rivers can't get the pick. And safe at first is Flowers.
It's now 1 out and a man on. Filthballers, or the Railriders, excuse me, want to extend their scoring stretch. They've scored in each of the past 2 innings. They want to do it again.
Yeah, and Rivers unhappy with himself after that one. That's a pick he should have had. And instead, it's Shipres up to bat with a runner on first. Shipres bloops this one into right field. It'll fall for Flowers, who's held up at second.
Flowers should have gone there. The ball was in right field, and he had the lead on him, but chooses not to. So now you got a man at first and second. Force at any of the main 3 bases. And it'll bring up number 16, Jake Murakami.
Murakami last time up ripped the ball to the right field side. Got the RBI that brought Swaney in. He's looking to do the same again. Flowers is on second. Shipres is on first. Pitch well inside. That one hit foul for 1-1. Here's a 2-1 from Burnett with 2 on. And 1 out. Big contact from Murakami. It's short in right field. Garner has it. And it'll hold Flowers and Shipres at their back. So 2 away from Garner. This time he doesn't lose the ball in the sun, thankfully. And it's 2 away.
It does look there's a little bit of cloud cover coming in from the west, so that might help our outfielders a little bit, kind of avoid that sun, and hopefully back the heat off a little bit for the later game today.
Definitely needing some of that cloud cover here at J.J. Isaacson. As there's a quick meeting of the minds here.
You can see Carson Burnett there is on his knees. He's gassed. You know, he's been doing a lot of pitching and a lot of hitting, so he might just need a break. Maybe he needs to talk. Just kind of calm down a little bit, get his head back in order.
Yeah, no action in the bullpen just yet. We're seeing some bodies up and moving, and they're bringing out some water to him. And good to see Hillis and Cy Patterson, everyone checking on Burnett, making sure he's okay in this heat. Obviously, the last thing you want to do is overextend someone to heat exhaustion, especially when the heat's racking up like this. Is taking a look at that. Those clouds that you mentioned slowly coming in from the west, and great work by the camera crew to catch those clouds moving in. Maybe provide some relief to Burnett, who's been visibly gassed today, but still has pitched extremely well for the Filthballers as they are all tied up between the 3 sides. Here's the 1-0. In there for strike 1, so 1-1 the count with 2 away. Big cut there from Matchin. It's now a 1-2 count.
Filthballers want to get out of this inning without allowing any more runs. They've got 2 outs, and they look to do it here with 1 more strike from Burnett.
And Burnett's a Matchin with a 1-2 count. 2 away in the top of the 4th inning. 2 on. Between Burnett and Matchin. High. Runner goes. It's well over the head of Nino. Chance to go home. And Flowers will score pretty easily and make it a 4-3 ball game.
That was a bad overthrow by the Filthballers catcher there, Cooper McCoy. You want to get him out at third, but you don't want to do it so hastily that you allow a run to score. So now instead of 2 outs and look to take him away, now it's 2 outs, and they scored 1.
Yeah, and McCoy had him beat. The throw over to third was in time if he just could have got it online. It's a big swing and a miss from Matchin, and Burnett gets out of the inning almost unscathed. He gives up 1 right there at the end after the error from Cooper McCoy. 4-3 the score as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Can the Filthballers respond again like they have the past 2 times? The answer to that when we return here on the Corn Belt League Network. Back here at J.J. Isaacson Field, and like you mentioned, Thomas, the cloud cover is slowly becoming more and more apparent as we get closer to sunset. First pitch lifted high into foul territory, closing in on it is Slager, and he will make the catch, stumbling into foul territory.
Great work by Lucas Slager to track that one. He was kind of running back, looking over his shoulder. He gets under it, catches, stumbles a little bit, but, you know, that's all for the cool factor. And it'll be a first out.
Hey, an out's an out, no matter if you're stumbling, no matter if you dive and catch it, no matter how glamorous or unglamorous it is, as Slager did there. Still 1 away, as the Filthballers look to regain, not a lead. They haven't had a lead this entire game, but they've been tied multiple times.
Cy Patterson will be hit by a pitch there, so he'll take his base. Nicholas Mersek just popped him right in the back.
3 lead changes in this game. 3 times the scores have been tied, including 0-0 at the top of the first. But the Filthballers have answered every punch that the Rail Riders have thrown so far. As Cy Patterson heads over to first. It'll bring up Brandt. Tristan Brandt, the first baseman and outfielder from Concordia University. Like you mentioned, a lot of guys from Concordia University on this team.
And that ball comes right back almost into the press box.
So close. That's probably the closest we've gotten this entire season, as camera director Sam Whitaker had in his hands. Unfortunate that he couldn't have that one into the press box. The windows are closed here, obviously, you know, keeping the air conditioning, keeping this place cool. But unfortunately, that means no baseball in the press box for the 4 of us up here.
You know, the real reason he wanted that is if you return a foul ball, you get a free Freezy Pop. Sam Whitaker really wanted that Freezy Pop. They almost caught the runner at first, trying to go. But a little bobble. He'll stay safe, so bring up 1-1 for Brant.
You know, at this point, I think we can just go down there and take a Freezy Pop. So maybe that'll cheer up Sam's spirits after getting so close to that foul ball. As Brant steps back into the box. Patterson on first. Low and away for 2-1. Mersick gets set for the 2-1. Outside for 3-1. And falling behind in these counts, not really Mersick's thing this whole season. Kind of uncharacteristic to see how many times he's fallen behind in a count today. As he walks Brent. Now 2-1 for the Filthballers with 1 away.
Yeah, the inning started great for him with the first pitch out, and now he's hit a runner and walked one. No motion in the Rail Riders Rail Riders bullpen, excuse me.
Got there eventually, Thomas, but like you mentioned, it's been an uncharacteristic outing here from Mersick. 2 hit by pitches for the Rail Riders ace. Now it's 2-1 away for Dane Garner, who has an RBI in this game after he hit one that was bobbled in right field by Shiprez. If he does the same here, it'll probably score side Patterson again. A lot of speed there for the second baseman.
Last night, we had 11 hits in that late game. And in this game, we have 12 hits already in the first 3.5 innings. So, a lot of hitting, a lot of action in this game, which shows up in the scoreboard tied 4-3. Rail Riders leading.
A quick meeting here as Bullifer heads out to Mersick. Probably talking about how you want to pitch to Garner here. You want to try and enforce him into that ground ball, so you want to throw him a little bit higher than he's normally used to seeing.
Yeah, Garner's got some power. You don't really want him hitting into the outfield, especially with 2 runners on base with the potential to score.
But when you're throwing around the letters, if Garner's expecting it, he can crank and turn one to left field. Instead, it's low and away. And the count sits 2-0 for Garner. Garner makes contact. But it falls well foul. Hustle there from Curtis Flynn of Dakota State to get that ball back to the umpire. The pitcher who is not in action today. Might see him later, though, in relief. As Garner looks at a pitch for 3-1.
3-1. This is Gardner's count. Don't got to go reaching on anything on the outside.
And
that
he
will
does
be
it.
high.
Yeah, he'll walk over to first. It's bases loaded with 1 away for Brugman.
So bring up left fielder Lyndon Brugman.
Last time Brugman was up, he hit a deep fly ball to right field. Unfortunately, no one was on base to score from that, and it was the 3rd out of the inning. If he could replicate that here, it would tie things up. As Drew Becks is active in the bullpen for the Rail Riders. Becks on the season, 30 innings pitched. He's the number 2 guy here, number 2 or number 3 guy alongside TJ Swaney for the Rail Riders. 11 innings pitched, 1 start. Has an ERA of 3.5. Just if your number 1 guy can't do it, just turn to your number 2 and see what he can do, I think is what the Rail Riders are saying here. So we'll see if they keep Mersick out there with the bases loaded. Thomas, I got to ask you, if you're the Rail Riders coach here, the Rail Riders manager, it's the heat. You know, your ace isn't throwing as well as you would maybe have hoped he is. Do you turn to your number 2 guy this early in the 4th, or do you say maybe give him give him a chance here to get out of this jam.
I think you give him a chance to get out of the jam. If he walks one more, you're definitely getting rid of him. But with your number 2 guy not quite warmed up, he didn't have him ready to go, I think you leave Mercek in there, try to get out of this jam, have confidence in him, show him that, hey, we believe in you. Get out of this for us, and then we'll relieve you after this.
Patterson on third, Brandt on second, Garner on first. It's Brugman up to bat for the Filthballers, and a chance to really blow this game open if he can make good contact, and he does. First pitch up the gap on the first base side. It's into right field. 1 run scores, the other one coming around. The throw is not in time, and stepping on home is Brandt for 2 runs. Patterson and Brandt score. Garner heads to third. First pitch seen from Brugman turned into right field. It's a 2 RBI single for the man from Missouri Western State. Well, Thomas, maybe confidence in Mercek, not the move there for the Rail Riders. Unfortunate for him, the Rail Riders ace has done it all this season and just couldn't get a hold there as
it looks like the catcher for the Rail Riders, that's Christian Bollifer, is in a little bit of pain. Looks like he took the ball to the groin area there.
You know he's going to be feeling that one for a bit as Garner's on third and Brugman's on first, and still only 1 away here for the Filthballers, so a chance for more damage to be added here, but it looks like a call to the pen has been made. As we're slowly seeing Drew Becks make his way onto the field, he's getting his last-minute hydration in, and it seems like that will be the night for Nick Mercek. The Rail Riders ace unable to get it done here in the quarterfinals. It gives up 5 earned runs. He's still responsible for the 2 men on base as well. And we'll get you more information on the new pitcher, Drew Becks, when we return here on the Corn Belt League Network. Don't go anywhere. Back here as all the Filthballers had their little meeting as we get you set for the new pitcher is Drew Becks. Makes his way to the mound for the Rail Riders, the man who pitches for Gavilan College. On the season has 30.2 innings pitched. Another one of these California guys, Santa Clara County is where Gavilan's located.
Yeah, he's got 30 innings pitched, 23 strikeouts, 2.85 ERA and 1.22 WHIP. So pretty effective number 2 pitcher. He'll come in and try to save this game, turn it around.
Like we were talking about with Mercek's 41 to 15 strikeout to walk ratio coming into today, Drew Becks has one that's just as impressive. 23 strikeouts to only 7 walks. A really impressive strikeout to walk ratio, only giving up 12 earned runs this entire season. Drew Becks is the man you want in relief if you're the Rail Riders. You want someone to try and hold off the Filthballers offense that's been ticking during the bottom of the last 3 innings. As Brendan Hillis, top of the lineup again here for the Filthballers. Big cut from Hillis, he'll miss, and it's 0-1. Last time Hillis was up was last inning. He led off the last inning with a double into right field. I believe that's the one that the right fielder Shipres kind of lost in the sun there, as we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
But now the cloud covers came in, so sun should not be an issue.
Yeah, the whole field is in the shade. Not cooling down quite yet. It's a little humid, but definitely no more sun out there. Outfielders thanking their lucky stars.
Cannot complain about that at all. If you're Shipres and Dane Garner, both those guys had mistakes in the outfield as they try and pick off Brugman again.
3-on-3.
He gets back in time.
Drew Beck's a little bit more paranoid about the base runners. He doesn't want to give up any easy bases. Man on first and third in the corners for the Filthballers.
You know Brugman's going to go here because you've got runners on the corners, and the last time that happened, Bolifer made the throw down to second that allowed Dane Garner to come home.
Hopefully he's learned from that mistake this time and he won't throw it down, but we'll see if Brugman jumps and goes to 2.
The 0-2 here from Bex against Hillis, the leadoff man for the Filthballers, and it's another check over to first, and Brugman head first back in time. I don't know if I like the amount of checks from Bex here, just because at this point, if you're Brugman, you're just not going to go until he goes through that entire pitching motion, maybe even until he gets to the point of releasing the ball, as this one's hit sharply from Hillis to the shortstop. Trying to turn 2 instead, hanging on second base is Brugman, who's there in time. A tough play to make if you're Peyton Blaine. He backhands, has to turn around the opposite direction, try and fire an off-balance throw over to Matchin at second. Instead, it's bases loaded for the Filthballers again.
No, third baseman scored on that one. Dane Garner came in and he scored, making it 6-4 Filthballers now, so even more damage done in this 4th inning.
You're totally correct. Thank you for that correction there, Thomas. Totally missed the fact that Dane Garner was sitting there at third and ran home. 6-4 now, 3 runs scored in the bottom of the 4th inning for the Filthballers. They've matched what the Rail Riders have done in every single inning and then added some more in this one.
They'll bring up number 17, Peyton Larson, the outfielder out of Concordia. He'll be hitting now with runners on second and first.
Big cut there from Larson as he falls behind 0-2.
Bro.
As we take a look at Brugman and Hillis on the bases, and still only 1 out for the Filthballers as Larson's up, and due up after Larson is Carson Burnett. Big swing and a miss from Larson, and Bex gets his first strikeout of his outing as he puts away Larson for the second strikeout of this half inning.
Visible frustration there from Larson. He had a big cut. He wanted that, wanted to drive in his teammates, but doesn't get it. Bex will strike him out. And now we'll move on to Burnett, the pitcher. Burnett's had a little bit of time to kind of recover. We saw him kind of fatigued out on the mound earlier in the inning. And now he's up to hit.
And for me, if I'm a Rail Riders hitter and I'm seeing that, I think I would be a little bit more energized the next time I'm at bat. I'm seeing the pitcher's fatigued. I'm seeing he's kind of bending over, catching his wind any chance he gets. For me, that's something that I would look at as encouragement. And maybe for the Filthballers, that's something you look at as maybe it's time to pull the pitcher here in the next few at-bats.
Yeah, that's right. As a hitter, I would definitely take motivation from that. The pitcher's slowing down. I'm going to take over. It's going to be my game now. We haven't seen it quite yet, but we'll see if Burnett can do anything in the batter's box here.
If you've missed out on the multitude of weather updates, maybe you tune in a little late. It is 98 degrees outside on the field right now. Feels like 108. So it's no surprise that players are getting fatigued and getting tired this soon. It's a very hot one out there.
Cloud cover has not helped the temperature at all. These players still feeling it.
There's Brugman on second, Hillis on first, and Burnett at the plate.
You're good. We're supposed to have rain in the next hour.
Here's the 2-1. Well inside for 3-1. 2 outs for Bex. He just needs to get 1 more. Burnett trying to stay off the mound for as long as possible here, so It really all rests in his hands how much time he has in between innings.
You think if he gets on base here, they pinch run for him, trying to give him a little bit more rest time? And he will. That'll be a ball down low. So Burnett will take the walk to go to first base.
And now the bases are loaded again, this time with 2 outs for the cleanup man, Matthew Rivers.
Now batting.
From D-Mac, and
From D-Mac, number 48, Matthew Rivers.
the man you want up if you're the Filthballers and you've got a bases loaded situation. I don't think there's anyone else you'd rather have at the plate than Matthew Rivers.
Yeah, Rivers really a leader on this team, especially in the hitting category. 17 hits on the season with a 309 average. He's a big dude, really takes up the batter's box, trying to show the pitcher who's boss. So he'll try to drive more in with the bases loaded.
You think of that popular phrase, Thomas, he's got that dog in him? I think Rivers is the guy who really exemplifies that he's got that dog in him mentality.
If there was one guy who looks the part, it's Matthew Rivers. Absolute dog.
Steps in on the 1-1. Low stance from Rivers. He'll watch it low for 2-1. Two outs, bases loaded. Matthew Rivers trying to extend the Filthballers' 2-run lead here in the bottom of the 4th. Big hit from Rivers. It's over the third baseman's head and into left field. 1 run comes home. The second one making his way home as well. And it's another double for Rivers that scores 2 runs and pushes Burnett to third.
That was a huge hit by Rivers. Just went right over the head of the third baseman and into the outfield. Scores 2. He gets to second. And the Filthballers now have a commanding 4-run lead. And they're not done yet.
Well, I mean, we said it. We said it, Thomas. That's a dog play. 2 outs. You line it over the third baseman's head. You make it to second. Matthew Rivers take a bow. That's his second double of the game. And with 2 outs, it'll bring up Anthony Nino.
Just a dog doing dog things.
Last time up for Nino. He hit that fly ball into right field. That one, did it trickle foul? Yes, it did. So returning to third is Burnett. Here's the 0-1 for Nino as he steps back into the box. Nino coming into today, only a 176 average, but he really picked it up that last half of the season. Both defensively and offensively, is getting more quality at bats. Just even if he's not getting the hits, he's getting those pitchers' pitch counts up. So he's fighting at the plate. That's really what you want to see out of your hitters.
And Nino almost the most RBIs on the team. He has 12. So an effective hitter at bringing in his teammates, and he has the chance to bring that up now with runners on second and third.
We'll take a pitch inside for 2-1. Like you just said, I mean, you look at a guy who's got an average of 176. You don't think he's almost leading the team in RBIs, but when you've got the guys like Burnett and Rivers and Larson ahead of you, they're just getting in those scoring positions. It really just kind of writes itself.
Yeah, it creates opportunities as he lifts one into right field.
Chiprez looking for it, and he'll make the catch to retire the side, but 5 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Filthballers a big 4-run lead in the game. They look to secure their spot in the semifinals. Still 3 innings left to go here as the Rail Riders try to mount a comeback. We'll be right back here at J.J. Isaacson Field. clouds are getting darker and darker here at J.J. Isaacson Field, and we did get a quick look during the break at some hail that's falling about 30 miles northwest of here in Midland University in Fremont, Nebraska, where some of these guys in the Cornwall League actually play their collegiate ball. About the size of a softball. It's some big hail pieces falling down up there. We're hoping that avoids us here at J.J. Isaacson Field. We've got a lot of things here, a lot of nice things here at this field, and a lot of hail would ruin it.
Yeah, speaking of nice things, my car in the parking lot, windows down. So we're hoping to avoid hail or rain.
We can't control it, but we can only hope. As Burnett's still on the mound, and Schaefer's up to bat for the Rail Riders. Big looping curveball from Burnett, but it falls inside for 1-0.
Are you surprised at all you're still seeing Carson Burnett on the mound? They haven't switched him out yet?
I am a little bit. I know with Coach Francisco, the goal is always you want to go 5 innings with your starter. 5 complete innings with your starter. You get a quality start from them. You bring in your setup guy in the 6th. You bring in your closer in the 7th. That's always the game plan with Coach Francisco. However, in the heat, I thought maybe you get a shorter leash on Burnett. He's given up 4 runs, but your offense has done the job to back him up. So maybe you loosen his leash a little bit as you got Cody Bruce in the bullpen, for the Filthballers as the count sits 2-1. Cut on, and it's foul over to the third base side. And
almost an incredible play by the Rail Riders third base coach, but he'll lose it into the outfield.
And it now sits 2-2 the count. Schaefer in the box, awaiting the pitch from Burnett, and it hits him.
That'll be a free base for Jack Schaefer.
Yeah, Burnett just lost control of that one, and on a 2-2 count, that's not really what you want to do. You're ahead in the count, you're 1 strike away from putting him out, and you let him on the base for free. Gonna bring up Max Torres. Last time up, Torres hit a double into right center field and then stole third. Was unable to score, though, as the inning ended before he could touch home for the Rail Riders.
Burnett doing pretty good with the pitch count, only at 73 through 5 so far.
Makes contact with that one, does Torres, but it's lifted foul. Bolifer in the on-deck circle. So 2 really big contact guys here in Torres and Bolifer coming up for the Rail Riders, and the 2 guys you really do want up if you're the Rail Riders, trying to climb back into this thing with Schaefer on first. Runner goes. Wow, did Burnett miss with that one? Well over everyone's head, and maybe that fatigue we're starting to see set in. Maybe it's time to make that call to Cody Bruce in the bullpen.
Good pitch. Keep that going. Whenever someone does that on my team, I just
Yeah,
Schaefer on second.
you don't want to overextend Burnett here, especially because he's hitting for you too. So he's kind of pulling double duty. So when in doubt, pull him out. Kind of let him save some energy for your offensive capabilities.
Bruce is still in the bullpen, still throwing, so maybe you give him an at-bat or 2, but try and limit the damage here if you're Burnett. Good recovery pitch there after firing the last one well wide. He rears back and throws one in the zone for 2-2. That'll definitely build his confidence back up. Here's the 2-2 from Burnett. He sets and throws. Swing, it's right back. It's tipped off the glove of Burnett. A play to be made at first, and it is. Patterson to Rivers at first for the first out of the inning, but it pushes Schaefer over to third. 90 feet away from getting a run back and cutting into this 4-run Filthballers lead for the Rail Riders.
Jackson, what are you doing here, buddy? Or Matthew.
The catcher, Chris Bolifer, up now out of the U of M Crookston. One of the better hitters for the Rail Riders, 405 average.
A lot of guys from this U of M system throughout the league. As that one, a curveball drops in for a strike from Burnett. Burnett does a really good job with his curveball. Gets that vertical motion, but then has that little touch of horizontal motion that pushes it from one half of the plate to the other.
It'll be 0-2. This is a pitcher's count here. You can put the ball anywhere and almost force the hitter to swing at it.
And with a curveball like Burnett's, it's a dangerous count to be in if you're Bullifer. Here's the pitch. Bullifer kind of backed out of it. It was creeping back towards the zone, but it just misses for 1-2. Runner on third is Schaefer. Here's the 1-2 from Burnett. Cut back right of the plate. It's going to kick off the cleat of Burnett, and instead it's over. Rivers just snags it in time to hold the runner at first.
It looked like it hit Burnett right kind of in that calf cleat area, and he just kind of lost it.
It's not 45.
An unlucky reaction there from Burnett. He didn't mean to. He just kind of tossed his leg out there because he saw the ball coming his way. And the Rail Riders do score one back here in the top of the fifth. It was Schaefer who made his way home as Bullifer made his way over to first base.
There's a courtesy runner at first base. Nolan Chandler will step in for Bullifer. Peyton Blinn with a little chop swing there.
Looks like he did go, so it is a strike for Blinn.
3-3.
Blinn was on the wrong end of a Sports Center top 10 play last year. During the regular season, Blinn, part of the Omaha Bombers last season, hit a deep fly ball into center field. A diving catch was made by a center fielder during the Corn Belt League season last year that made it on Sports Center. But unfortunately for Blinn, he was the man that got caught out as Rivers bobbles this one, and he'll have to eat the throw. So Blinn will make it to first, and Bullifer heads to second.
Back-to-back plays that probably could have been outs that the Filth Bombers miss. Not great if you're them. You want to get out of this inning. So we see there Burnett on his hand, knees again, thinking when will Cody Bruce come in?
Yeah, it's got to be soon here. You've already given up one run in the inning. You've got the tying run at the plate now in Slager. One big swing could change a lot of things here in this game.
Calm it down, calm it. It's okay.
Here's Burnett. Pitch inside for 1-0.
Probably.
We've seen fewer strikes by all of the pitchers as a whole. You know, after these batters got active, pitchers more afraid to throw strikes because they're going to get hit. So more walks. And that's a swing and a miss there. And they catch the runner going back to first base.
Huge awareness there from Cooper McCoy. Caught Blinn sleeping a little bit, and Rivers was in the right place at the right time to make the tag.
He's got too big of a secondary lead there and couldn't get back to first fast enough.
As Bullifer remains on second. The tying run now on deck, no longer at the plate. Count sits now 1-2. Count sits 1-2. In there, just low for 2-2.
Yeah, that one looked like it was going to be a strike. Called ball, but now it's 2-2 for Slager.
The tying run on deck is TJ Swaney of Dominican University in River Forest, Illinois. As the count is worked full with 2 outs. So runner on second, Slager at the plate, Swaney on deck, and 2 away here in the top of the fifth. Big cut, a chopper to the second baseman Patterson. The throw to be made in time, and Rivers will step on the bag and step away. So Slager unable to do more damage, but the Rail Riders chip one back from the Filthballers, who still lead by 3. We'll be right back here at J.G. Isaacson Field on the Corn Belt League Network. Back here at J.J. Isaacson Field, the wind slowly picking up as the clouds cover the sun, and we get slightly, but not very much, cooler here at Seymour Smith Park in Omaha. It's still very, very hot outside. And these players are battling through the adverse conditions. A 5-8 scoreline as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Filthballers trying to extend this 3-run lead. Cooper McCoy's up to bat. Drew Beck still on the mound after making his appearance in the last inning. Beck's the number 56 from Gavillion College in Santa Clara County, California. So probably not used to this type of heat in Omaha as he's been in Santa Clara, California, but hopefully he's gotten used to it over the summer to pitch in it now, as there's no time here. More important, single elimination tournament here in the quarterfinals. You lose, you're done for the season, and everything you've worked for the summer comes to a close.
Yeah, it's all on the line for these guys in this game, and both these teams are able to do it. We just got to see who comes out victorious through 7 innings.
First pitch misses for ball 1. Cut and a miss. For 1-1 for McCoy. Last time up for McCoy was a fly out to the third baseman, I believe, in foul territory. So it's pop out as he hits this one off the inside of the bat. Going to try and hustle it out, but the play from the shortstop, Blinn, is in time for the first out of the inning.
That was a great throw by Blinn. The ball kind of died in the infield, so he had to get it to first base rather quickly, and he did for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, Blinn really well. He's really well at closing in on the ball. He doesn't let the ball come to him. He goes out and attacks it. Helps him have time to beat out the runners and make good, effective throws. A really solid infielder for this Rail Riders side. It'll bring up Cy Patterson for the Filthballers with 1 away. Patterson lifts this one high into shallow center. Blinn tracking it back, and he'll casually make the catch for the second out of the inning. So 2 plays have all run through Blinn for 2 outs, and we'll head quickly to the next batter here for the Filthballers.
This is turning into a rather efficient inning for Drew Blex. When he came in the 4th inning in relief for Merchek, he kind of bobbed a little bit, didn't quite get off to a great start, but now he's firing on all cylinders, one might say, cooking with gas.
Brand up to the plate, big swing on the first pitch he sees, and he misses. Bex finds that outside corner really well for the 0-1. And now here is the 0-1 pitch as it's low and away for 1-1. Here's the 1-1 in there for strike 2.
So it'll go to 1-2 for the long-haired Brant. No runners on. Blex will look to close out this inning.
Now 2-2. Here's the 2-2. Big swing and a miss from Brand, and it's a strikeout swing in to end the inning. A quick and efficient inning for Bex. The Rail Riders with a chance to keep chipping away at this Filthballers lead when we return here. Top of the 6th coming up on the Corn Belt League Network. back here at the Corn Belt League quarterfinals between the Rail Riders and the Filthballers. It's a new pitcher for the Filthballers, and number 18, Ethan Neeson, also plays an outfielder. Goes to Allen County Community College for the Filthballers. He has 14 innings pitched on the season so far. Started 2 games this year, has given up 8 runs, but only 5 of them have been earned. Has a 3.214 ERA and almost a 1-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. 17 strikes, only given up 14 walks this season going into the playoffs, as he gets ahead in the count 1-2.
He's a good man to have come in relief. Now both teams on to their number 2s, trying to send this game away.
And a reminder that the winner of this game will head on to face the Royal Blue Dogs, the 1 seed, who had to come from behind against the 8 seed Omaha Black Sox. The upset bid almost all the way through, but the Royal Blue Dogs clawed it back late to win that one.
Yeah, a little fun fact, both the Black Sox and the Blue Dogs are coached by the same coach, and he chose to sit in the Blue Dogs bench, and they came out victorious, and maybe that's part of the reason.
Yeah, well, that's just how it happened this year, and it's actually pretty interesting. All 4 of these quarterfinal games, each coach this season, going into the season, had 2 squads. Each coach in the quarterfinals going up against both of their squads. So, like in this game, Coach Francisco, going up against both of his squads. It just so happened that every single quarterfinal, by an incredible stroke of luck, really, featured each coach going up against their own team.
Little conflict of interest, but it'll work out.
Well, they're always supported by their great assistant coaches, and will always have some form of coaching in the dugout. As a big swing and a miss there for 0-1.
This is Troy Flowers up to bat now for the Rail Raiders. At a Hope International University, has a 206 average on the season. He'll take that strike inside. 9 RBI, so he's a good hitter to bring in his teammates.
Good pitch there from Neeson for 0-2. Now with 1 away, here's the 0-2 from Neeson. Low and outside, almost picked up by McCoy.
Did you just break your own rule?
Here's the 1-2 from Neeson. Fouled directly back by Flowers. You know when you foul a ball directly behind you, you just missed it by this much, and you know Flowers is biting himself for that one. If he was just a little bit higher on that one, he's sending that one in play, and a very hard hit ball. He's got a pretty powerful swing. As here's the 1-2. Lifted, well fouled behind the bleachers. It goes on the right side for another chance at the 1-2.
You love to see fouls. That means the hitter's in there fighting, trying to stay alive, trying to get on base, and it shows a great battle between the pitcher and hitter.
So we'll go again with the 1-2. Ethan Neeson gets set and in motion, and this one a hit high into the shallow infield, calling everybody off as Hillis and making the play. 1 away here in the top of the 6th inning. Excuse me, 2 away now as Flowers pops out to the shortstop, and a fun little celebration there from Hillis to accentuate that out. You love to see you guys celebrate now, especially in this heat, just maybe trying to gain that little bit of extra energy and any form of momentum that they can gain.
Yeah, kind of get pumped up here. It's been an exciting game, but it's been a hot one. It's been a long one. So both these teams need all the energy they can get. As Ethan Neeson will try to make it 3 up, 3 down.
First pitch strike, and now it's an 0-1 count for Neeson. That one misses. He was looking for the same location, just missed it a little bit more inside.
We've also got like a secret handshake where we go like, no, it's like 1, 2, 1, 2, then you go a little handshake, a finger shake.
Now 1-2 count.
Get ready. Suit and tie. So cool.
Chiprez up. As here's a 1-2 from Neeson. Big swing and a miss. They got him swinging, and Chiprez forced to walk back slowly. Neeson gets up, 3 up, 3 down, and we'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Filthballers trying to gain some insurance before they try and close this one out. Back at J.J. Isaacson Field as the sky turns a dark shade of violet. And we get back in action here between the Filthballers and the Rail Riders. Beck's on the mound, Garner up at bat, and a big swing from Garner on the first pitch he sees, misses for 0-1.
Filthballers the home team, so if they can tack on some insurance and then X out the Rail Raiders next inning, that'll be the ball game.
Now counts it's 0-2. Here's the 0-2 from Bex on Garner. Big swing and a miss for strike 3, and Garner strikes out, and Bex will retire the first batter he sees here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Now batting, the left fielder.
Beck's hopping up and down there. He's getting some more energy in him. That was a big strikeout, kind of got his confidence up, and he's ready to go the rest of this inning. Now it'll bring up number 11, Lyndon Brugman, the left fielder out of Missouri Western University.
Looks at the first pitch outside for ball 1. 1-0 with 1 out. Brugman working against Bex here towards the bottom of the Filthballers order. Excuse me, at the bottom of the Filthballers order. As now the count sits 1-1.
Brugman whacks that one straight to the first baseman, who will step on the base, and that'll be the second out of the inning in as many batters. And it'll bring us back to the top of the order for the Filthballers.
It's going to be Hillis up to bat. As everyone here gets reset defensively for the Rail Riders. Swaney back over to third. Bex stepping back on the mound, trying to go 3 up, 3 down here as he has Hillis in the batter's box.
Very good relief pitching by both of these number 2s coming in. Drew Bex handled his business last inning, and now this inning is doing just that as the ball is rocketed into center field, and that'll be good for a base hit. He's trying to go 2.
Hillis still going, and he'll get a standing double, so Hillis with a double will head over to second base.
And now there's a man on for number 2 hitter, Peyton Larson.
Center fielder from Concordia University, number 17, Peyton Larson.
Larson, last time up, he struck out swinging, also struck out looking the inning before that, so 2 strikeouts and 1 single on the day, so 1 for 3. Trying to make it 2 for 4 here in the day 500.
He'll watch that one go by for strike 1.
Yeah, good pitch there from Bex. After giving up the double, just trying to reset his mentality, refocus in on the next batter at hand, and starting off with an 0-1 count is a perfect way to do that. That one chopped over towards the Filthballers dugout. It'll be 0-2 now for Larson. First pitch tonight was around 4 p.m. We're now 2 hours into this one as Larson lifts this one into foul territory, and it'll fall harmlessly foul.
Chipraz was running after that one. He wanted to get that 3rd out, but it was just too far foul. Couldn't get there in time.
Chipraz is a fast guy over there at the right field spot, so
we've seen a lot of balls hitting the right field by both teams today. Those right fielders definitely getting their work in.
Yeah, and you got to think here, the foul territory here at J.J. Isaacson Field is pretty massive. There's a lot of foul territory where the ball is still considered in play.
That one's hit right to the center fielder, and he'll get under it and corral it for the 3rd out. So the Filthballers tack on nothing to their lead, and the Rail Riders will go to the top of the 7th to try to come back and force another inning here. We'll be right back from the Corn Belt League Network.
Back here at J.J. Isaacson Field, and it's closer time here at J.J. Isaacson. Cody Bruce comes in, 5 innings pitched on the year, 1 start, 1 loss, giving up 8 runs, 6 of them earned, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts, as the throw from third over to first not in time, so the first batter is Murakami, and he's going to make it there in time, so he'll be on first. But Bruss, just another fresh arm. You feel bad for Neeson. He didn't get much action, but maybe they're trying to save him for tomorrow. Planning on making the semifinal here if results do hold against the #1 seed in the Royal Blue Dogs. You want a guy who can go pretty long and a guy who has starting experience, so maybe that's the decision to pull Neeson that early.
That's right, and you'd rather use 2 guys and get maybe 15, 20 pitches under their arm than use 1 guy and waste him for the rest of the tournament. So, not a bad play.
As Bruss falls behind 2-0 against the leadoff man for the Rail Riders and Matchin. Murakami's on first. And now the count 3-0. You got to force Bruss to throw a strike if you're Matchin here. As here's the 3-0. It's in there for a strike for 3-1. Still a lot of time here for Matchin to work with. He's not going to swing until he's given his pitch.
Yeah, 3-1 Matchin can really be careful about what he's having. And that'll be a strike. So now we'll go to full count.
That one outside, and now 2 on for the Rail Riders. Tying run to the plate.
An auspicious start for the Filthballers. Giving up 2 bases early. And now we'll bring up number 30, Jack Schaefer out of Simpson College. He has big hit capabilities. 240 average. And he'll try to pull him even. First one high into right field. Garner is under it. And no runner will advance as Garner hits the cutoff man.
Good work there from Garner to find the cutoff that early on and hold the runners at first and second after getting the first out of the inning. First pitch is in there for a strike.
That one's up in the air to Dane Gardner. He catches that one as well and again throws in to hit the cutoff man. So 2 exact same plays to Dane Gardner out in right field. And we talked about those right fielders getting action, and it is the same in the top of the 7th. So now 2 down, 2 men on, and Dane Gardner has done an incredible job of getting that ball in and stopping men from advancing and potentially saving runs for the Filthballers.
Since that first mistake he made that allowed those first 2 runs across for the Rail Riders, it's been pretty well in the right field for Dane Garner. Has made the catches he need to, and he's made really good throws home as well. Throws into the infield, I should say. Not just home, he's made the cutoff man as well. As now it's 2 away, and Bruss, after getting into a shaky start, allowing the first 2 runners on, has retired the next 2 to right field. And now the count sits 1-1.
Only 1 out away from the semifinals for the Filthballers. The Blue Dogs await.
The 1-1 is in there for strike 2, so now the count sits 1-2. Down to the last strike are the Rail Riders.
Bolifer cannot afford to watch something go by here. He has to crowd the plate and really be able to reach that entire strike zone.
Here's a 1-2 swung on and missed. It's a strikeout for Bruss to end the game, and the Filthballers are going to the semifinals tomorrow. They'll take on the number 1 seed, the Royal Blue Dogs, Saturday at 7 p.m. for the Rail Riders. An incredible fight, an incredible game here. Offensive showing on par from what we've seen this whole season from the Rail Riders. But the Filthballers, just too much in that bottom of the 4th inning. 5 runs getting home, and that really set the difference.
Yeah, that was awesome. It turned out to be exact opposite of what we anticipated. No pitcher's duel, but the bats came alive. A high-scoring affair, 8-5 final score. Each team 9 hits on the game. So an incredible showing by both these teams. Hats off to the Rail Riders. They had an incredible season. They got here. They were the 5th seed, but the Filthballers were just too much in this quarterfinal matchup.
Just a little bit too much offense, and the Filthballers, after a three-peat the past 3 seasons, fell to the 4th seed this year, but still are alive and fighting for that 4th title in a row. They'll play the Royal Blue Dogs tomorrow in the semifinals, looking to continue on that Filthballers legacy. We'll have our post-game interview here after a quick break. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight. For myself and Thomas Roth right next to me, it's been a great game. And we've really enjoyed having you with us here along this ride here in the first quarterfinal. Don't go anywhere. We'll have the second quarterfinal as well coming up at 7 p.m. But right after this quick break, we'll have our player of the game and our post-game interview here on the Corn Belt League Network. Filthballers explode in the bottom of the fourth inning, scoring 5 runs, and that's the difference in this one. An 8-5 win, both teams with 9 hits. Filthballers 3 errors, Rail Riders only 1 on the night. As we take you back into the booth, I'm Arnav Pokhrel. I'm joined by our player of the game, Matthew Rivers from DMAC. Matthew, an incredible night, but first I want to talk about the conditions. It was hot today, 99 degrees, feels like 108. What was that like for you? How fatiguing was it for you out there in the heat?
I mean, it was pretty bad. We got here, no wind, nothing, so we're just sitting there basking in the heat. Biggest thing for us was getting those cold rags and, of course, staying hydrated. I mean, you're out on the field, sun's beating down on you. You can't do much about it except for hydrate yourself.
And I want to talk to you a little bit about the game as well. 2 for 3, a double, 3 RBIs for you. What was working well? How good were you seeing that ball today?
I mean, I was seeing it really well today. My approach for the game was to just hit it up through the pitcher and, hit it hard and obviously do a job. We had guys in scoring position. You know, everybody wants to try to hit the long ball. I'm there just trying to get my guys in so we can win the game.
And then looking ahead tomorrow, the Royal Blue Dogs, the number 1 seed. They've been doing it all season. What do you look at when you see their roster? How do you want your team to attack them? How do you want yourself to attack that Royal Blue Dogs team?
I mean, we're attacking them. We're swinging the bat, of course. That's what we need to do. That's what we've been doing all season. Our pitchers got to go in there and be aggressive. I mean, that's the biggest thing is throwing strikes for us. I think myself personally is going to be the same thing as I did today. See the ball well, try to hit it up through the middle, and, do a job from the team.
And then finally tonight, you're looking at this, a big win. It was back and forth throughout the game. The Rail Riders taking leads. You guys were fighting back. Big bottom of the 4th inning. 3 RBIs. How are you planning, and you and the team planning going out and celebrating this win?
I think we're going to Tanner's Bar and Grill, get some really good food, and I think we might all go jump in the pool, of course, because cool ourselves down.
Cool off a little bit. It's hot today. Matthew Rivers, even hotter at the plate today. 2 for 3, 3 RBIs, 3 total bases for the man from DMAC. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. For myself, Arnav Pokhrel, my man in the booth with me, Thomas Roth. I want to thank you for an incredible quarterfinal. We'll have the second quarterfinal coming up for you at 7. And semifinals tomorrow at 4 and 7 as well. Thank you for tuning in once again on the Corn Belt League Network. Have a great rest of your afternoon, and we'll see you here at 7 p.m.